Wedding lingo explained.
Hi, welcome back to Bride Society. I'm Laura, this is Rebecca, and following on from our video a few couple of months ago, where we talked about the differences between a wedding fair and a wedding open day, we realised there were probably quite a few wedding terms, phrases, titles for things that aren't necessarily the clearest if you haven't been around weddings much, if you've never been in a wedding, if you've never been to a wedding and your wedding is the first one you're going to. It can seem a bit confusing, a bit of a minefield what everything means. So we're going to do a bit of a quick fire kind of explanation about some of the key wedding terms, so hopefully you know exactly what you're getting into when you agree to some of these things.
Yeah, you can talk the talk when you show up at these places. So my first word is processional. So this is the entrance of the wedding party. So they're like the bridegroom, groomsmen, bridesmaids, all these kind of people. Your entrance into your wedding ceremony.
My word is recessional, so the opposite. So it's the exit of the couple and the wedding party after the ceremony's happened and you've been married.
Then we've got prelude, or prelude, however you want to pronounce it. But this is like the music that is being played into your ceremony venue whilst your guests are arriving there, sat there, but like before you process in.
First look. Now this is where before the ceremony you as a couple have a little private moment and look at each other and see your outfits before it all kicks off and you go into the ceremony. This is probably more common in North America than it is in the UK, although it is becoming slightly more popular in the UK. So it's an option you can do before the ceremony if you choose to.
Golden hour. So this is, I guess, more of a photography term. So your photographer might be keen to capture you during the golden hour, which is basically kind of at sunset, or well, just before sunset, when the lighting's all kind of soft and dreamy and very flattering. So it's a good photo hour, basically.
Receiving line. Now this is quite a traditional one, so it doesn't happen quite so much anymore, but straight after the ceremony, the couple, yourselves and maybe parents, other key members of the wedding party will line up and each guest will go down the line and be thanked for coming by couple, parents or key members of the wedding party. So it can take quite a long time, but it's a way of the couple then seeing everybody who's at the wedding, I guess.
Yeah, and having their moment. Celebrant. So this is one that will conduct your wedding ceremony, that will marry the two of you, and can make the ceremony very personal and unique to the two of you, and can be quite involved with you, or you can be quite involved in the creation of the ceremony through a celebrant-led wedding. In England and Wales, this isn't a legal ceremony at this point in time. So you can have a legal ceremony separately and create then a separate wedding ceremony of your choice. It's much more perhaps personal, like down to the last sentence, basically.
Registrar. Now this is someone who conducts the ceremony, and it is a legal ceremony, so you would be legally married if you had a ceremony conducted by a registrar, and there are certain vows and phrases you have to say to each other in order to be legally married, so they will instruct you and lead that ceremony for you. And this can be done in a registry office, or you can do it in a licensed wedding venue where the registrar will come to you to do the ceremony.
Yes. There's still some level of personalisation there, but it's more limited because you have to have these legal phrases and terms in. So, moving on to the next topic, bustle. This is to do with the wedding dress, and it's the way in which it's sort of pinned up, like your train's pinned up. So usually when you walk into your ceremony, you've got the train out, sort of trailing behind you, if that's the style of dress you have. but it's difficult to kind of move around the rest of the day like that. So quite often one of the ways in which it can be pinned up is called a bustle. It's sort of folded underneath and pinned. Your seamstress will show you how to do this, but yes, it's for ease of movement through the rest of the day and for dancing.
A trunk show. Now this is, if you're going to a bridal boutique, they hold some special events where they may get a full collection from one particular bridal designer, and it gives you the opportunity to go and see this whole collection of that designer, rather than just sometimes they will just have a limited number of styles in stock there. So it's normally over a weekend, there's normally some discounts involved, and it's just more of an event rather than an appointment you would go to any other day, really.
Next is garter toss. So you may be more familiar with this term if you're in North America. It's coming over a bit to the UK, but you may not be familiar with the term. So it's kind of like the bouquet toss, where the bride typically throws their bouquet to all the single ladies or whatever, do it however you want, but in the crowd, and whoever catches that is the next person who's getting married. This is kind of the male equivalent, so traditionally. So the groom is retrieving the garter from the bride's leg and then tosses that to all the single guys, and then it's that single guy and that single lady that are theoretically the couple that go off and get married next. So, silly tradition, but yeah.
Bridal suite. So this is a room, generally if you're having a wedding venue, they will have a specific room in the venue where if there's a bride in the wedding, them and their wedding party can use that room to get ready before the wedding. So whether that's where you get your hair and makeup done, that's where you get into your wedding dress if you're choosing to have one. It's just that specific location within the venue that's just privately yours. You won't be disturbed by anybody else.
So, wedding coordinator. So this is somebody that coordinates your wedding on the day. So they're just involved in the on the day logistics of pulling your wedding together, making the day happen. Whereas you also have the term wedding planner, which is essentially like planning the entirety to whatever degree you want of the wedding. So it's a much kind of more overarching role. We do have another video that goes into those differences and helping you decide which one, if either, you might want or need for your wedding in much greater depth than I've just summarised. But we'll link that in the description box below for you.
Corkage fee. So this is the charge from a venue if you are allowed to bring and are choosing to bring your own alcohol to the venue. It's a fee per bottle that you'll be charged, basically in order for the venue not to lose out on the revenue that they may have earned from selling you their alcohol, basically. So you need to, if you are choosing to provide your own alcohol at the event, you just need to work out if it is still a cheaper option for you to do that, if that's what is important to you, with the corkage fee added on to that as well. So just some extra sums to kind of be aware of.
Along the alcohol route, also a cash bar versus open bar. So a cash bar, paying with cash, like you're paying in some way, so not necessarily cash, but making payments, right? The guests are expected to pay for their own drinks, and whereas the open bar, meaning it's open, so no payment required by your guests, that you've essentially put that money behind the bar for your guests to enjoy.
Charger plate. Now, despite its name, it's not actually a plate you would eat food off, but it does go on your reception table if you choose to have it, and it's just a decorative plate to create a beautiful place setting, and then the plates that are actually used for food will be put on top of the charger plate. So yeah, it's just decor for the table.
Yes, and that could be part of your tablescape. So tablescape is the look you've gone for with your tables, like the design of it. So you might think, well, they're just like cutlery and plates on a table, but it is the whole design. So it's the charger plates, it's the linens, the flowers, the place settings, the favours, the centrepiece. There's so much that actually potentially, if you want to, goes on your tables, and that can tie into your theme, your colour scheme. So yeah, it becomes a tablescape.
Sweetheart table. So this is the table in your wedding breakfast reception just for the two of you as a couple. So instead of sitting at a large head table with parents and other members of the wedding party, you will get to eat your wedding breakfast, just the two of you as a couple, and may actually then be able to spend some time together as a newly married couple and speak to each other on your wedding day.
Yeah. Escort cards versus place cards. So an escort card, like, it will help direct your guests to their seats for the dining part of the reception. The place cards, however, have got basically the names on the cards already at their seat. So when they get to the table, they can look around, see their name, and know that's where they're sitting.
We hope that's been helpful to you, explaining some of the maybe confusing wording, lingo that you've maybe been seeing.
Secret code.
While you've been planning your wedding. If this has been helpful to you and you maybe like us to do another video like this, please let us know in the comments below. Give this video a like, don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you next time.